So, okay, it's basically my time at this moment in time to do a live demonstration. And what we like to do is we like to be able to basically demonstrate live how we do things to try and give some hints and tips. So the first thing that we do have is, if you just bear with me, sorry, I've got Louise there on the screen, and I will just minimize there. Okay, so one of the first things that was asked for us in the feedback when we send out the information is to try and get a little bit more of an understanding of how these files work, and for example as well how we can use assignments a little bit more effectively. Now, what we have to understand is whenever we post anything within a conversation within Teams, okay, it will automatically save that file or a copy of that file into your files structure. Okay. Now, if you don't put that file in to the correct file or folder, shall I say, sorry, if you don't put it within a correct folder, when you automatically upload an image, okay, it will just put it, say for example, in the root of the folder. So if I just show you this as an example, so this is a test, and let's say for example I wanted to upload an image or a file just from my computer, and if I just go to my desktop and I say this webinar, and if I just open that, okay, it will take a little bit of time. Okay, and if you do not select correctly where you want to upload it, okay, it will just put it into the root of the file. So that's extremely important. To be fair as well, this is actually a new feature which Microsoft has just introduced, as this never used to pop up. So this is actually going to help an awful lot with uploading your file. So you choose the correct location and you just upload that file. Now the folder document. Now, what that basically means is that means every single pupil or every single person within that team can edit that file, and they can all do it at the same time. So, for example, if I was to post an informational worksheet here for my students to be able to get access to, they could actually edit that document. Okay, so we need to make sure that we are not placing any documents within this way here that we don't want our students to be able to edit. Okay, the suggestion would be to post, for example, PDF files here, so if they're information documents, it's not an issue because you can't edit that PDF file. But over here on files, anything that you do want to be a read-only file, we need to make sure that we place within this class materials folder. And then you are able to create your folder structure in here if you would like. So you could say, for example, Unit 1, and that means that any work, any files within this folder are only read-only files, and your students or members of staff can't accidentally edit those documents. Now, just to give you a little bit more information about this, because sometimes this is a little bit of a confusion. What we're looking at here is we're looking at a SharePoint. Okay, now SharePoint is based also on Office 365. So if we press open in SharePoint, okay, this will actually open up within the Office 365 platform, and it gives you just a little bit more control. So for example, okay, what we've now got here is we can see all of the files exactly as we can within Teams, but we sometimes have a little bit more control to be able to move things. Okay, so if I wanted to move this make code microbit and I wanted to place it into my Unit 1, I can now do that a little bit more easy with just clicking on the three little dots. Those three little dots are brilliant. Whenever you see them on an Office 365 platform, press them and it will give you so many more options. And I can simply press move to, and it just over here gives you the correct sort of structures. So I might just say, well, I want to move that file to a webinar, and I want to move it into class materials, and I'd like to move it into Unit 1. Now, what lots of you would have noticed there is when I was moving that file, when you press move, it also gave you the option of all the other teams that I was a part of. So if you, for example, as you can see, and I've got, these are just different teams that I'm a part of, but if I press browse sites, you will see that there is all of my files and all of my teams here that I am currently a part of, and that means that I can quickly and easily transfer files between different teams. And it means that, for example, if I want one file into so like, let's say for example, a worksheet for my students, I can copy and paste that very, very quickly into all of my different classes. So it means that I don't need to be repetitive on that action, and all I'm doing there is going by pressing the option to take me to SharePoint. Now, just in case you missed where that was, it is just here. Okay, now we have to remember that all Teams is a digital hub. All it does is it just looks at Office 365 and gives it into a way and a way that we like to understand. So anything that we're looking at here, we can always go and view within the Office 365 platform as well. Okay, so that's really one of the important things that has come back on feedback, being able to just a simple sort of how that works. Now, one of the things that I am going to show in today's session is the assignments feature. So the assignments feature is a wonderful plugin that we have for using within Microsoft Teams, because what this allows me to do is it allows me to set work for my classes. I can then distribute it when I would like to those classes, but also it means that I just need to write that document once or that piece of work once, and then it allows me to send it to multiple classes whenever I want in a very easy, quick way. So I'm just going to show you how I would do that, okay? So at this moment in time, if I wanted to create a new document, okay, I simply press create, okay? And it gives us some options here. Now, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to create a blank one at the start, and then I will show you how to do it from an existing one. So if I create a blank an assignment, so this is an assignment that I've never done before, I simply get a interface like this. Now this interface, I'm sure a lot of you will be used to, because it's very similar in a lot of the other homework or remote learning apps that some of you might be familiar with. So for example, I could just do week. Now at the moment we're on week 9, so we label our assignments by the weeks. Week 9, and I might say just a test activity. Okay, and then all we do is we just give simple instructions here on what the pupils need to do to complete the activity, and this is any information they need, any links that you might want them to get to, so we can add different resources. So for example, I might want them to access a logo or a different file that I want them to go to. So for example, GCSE pod or a PowerPoint presentation that we have on there, that will upload that file. And once that file is uploaded, I can press done, and that makes that available for students. Okay, now the thing that we need to remember as well, that is unique to the students. It is a read-only file. Okay, and sorry, not a read-only file, it is an editable file, but it is unique and a personal document to that student. So it is just like I've printed out 30 different sheets and I've given each student within that class their own sheet, so they are able to work on that document, which is just there. Okay, we can then decide on, do we want this to have any points? Okay, so do you want to have it a grade, for example, out of 10? I myself never put that, because I tend to like a rubric instead. So just to show you what a rubric is, now if I add a rubric, okay, so what I've got here is I've already got a coursework example, so I'm just going to select it and I'm just going to press next. And what I've got here, this is basically it's a rubric. It's an easy way for the teacher to mark students' work. So this is an example I've taken from technology where they have some coursework. So the way that technology coursework works is everything is marked on a different element. Okay, so the development of the design proposal, and then they've given out of 4 marks for this section. And I think this is actually based off the way that they mark a piece of coursework. And then if I want to go to the next section, I can add a new row, and I can add, let's say, for example, the implementation or evaluation, or whatever whatever we want to development of product. And then I can just simply enter more criteria. Okay, and then if I want to, I can give it more points if I want. So I can say this is also 100%, or just evenly redistribute the weights, which obviously that depends on your type of course that you do, because I know that myself as a computer scientist, we have different weighted for different sections, and then when you're happy with developing this rubric, we can just attach. And all that does is it makes it a lot faster for us as teachers to be able to mark students' work. And then we can simply say, where do we want this to assign to? Okay, so I'm just going to assign this to this team at the moment. But as you can see, if I press this, you'll be able to see all of my classes. So if I choose to, I can assign it to one class, I can assign it to 2 different classes, I can assign it to a lot more than just one class. Now, as Louise said in how we do it within Ribblesdale, we only assign work for the class when we teach them within a timetable. So I would only assign it to one class at once. Okay, and this is a new feature that's only just appeared. Now what this allows, okay, so if you get a new, if you've set an assignment to a class and then you get a new student within that class a couple of weeks later, you can decide on whether or not they see this assignment. Okay, so if we do edit here, I can decide whether or not the new student within your class will see that assignment. So there's 2 ways of thinking of that. Obviously, it could overload a brand new student if you've used Teams, and they could see 27, 30 different assignments, and it could be quite overwhelming for them. Or you could see it as, if they finish their work, they can go back and they can complete, or they can access past assignments that you've set. So you, as a teacher, can decide on how that works. Okay, and then we can either select the whole of the class, which is all students, or you can specifically pick out certain students that you want. Okay, now this is great for if you're if you want to send different materials to different students. Okay, and obviously you would just need to make sure that you name your title in the correct way, so you know which students are getting the correct assignments. And then we've got our standard due date, okay, and our time. And then assignment will post immediately with late turn-in. This is also a very new one that I've not actually seen as well. So what I can do now is I can actually schedule this to happen or assign to different in a different day. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could assign it straight away, or I could assign it for 2-3 days in the future. Now this is extremely new, as it wasn't on here when I demonstrated this only 4 or 5 days ago. Okay, so this is a new feature that we also have here. And then we've got this section here. Now, once again, now what this allows us to do is this allows us to choose the channel where you want to post it. So, for example, if I'm creating a Key Stage 4 assignment, it makes more sense to put it in Key Stage 4, and it becomes less cluttered. It means students know where to find it. If you've decided to set up your channels as units, you would then set the correct work in the correct channel, and it just makes it a little bit easier for your students to be able to find that. And then when you're happy with it, you simply press assign. Okay, and all that does is it takes a little bit of a moment. Okay, and once it's assigned, it will automatically put a notification in the channel with a little one informing anybody in that team something's happened, and they will then see it, which is just like this. So have the title, and then what they can do is they can simply press their view assignment, and okay, it will, at the moment you're seeing a teacher's view, but they will then be able to see, bear with me, I should have pressed the other button there, they will see this view, which is their view. So they'll have all of their instructions, they'll have any materials that they've been completing, and they will also see the success criteria that you've attached. So they can click on that success criteria, and they can actually make sure that they can see that when they're completing their work. And another really good thing about it is it says students work here. Now, students work has an attached file. So if they wanted to, they could also attach other materials for you that you can actually be able to see as well. So how does this look? Okay, so this is how you would see it. Okay, and all we would have to do is simply click on that piece of work, and I can see all of the students' work here. However, this is not the best one to show as an example. I will show this one. So if I click here on a document, now this is obviously a demo team that we've done, but this is a document and this is the students' work. Okay, and all I can simply do is simply go through each student's work and I can provide them feedback. Okay, unfortunately, I've not placed a rubric on this one, so I'll show you how that looks as well. Okay, and I can go through and I can mark all of those students' work. Now, I do know that this student has completed some work. So as you can see, that student has got work there. They've added some documents on. I can say, well done. This is great. And then that will go back to the student and inform them that you've marked their work. And that's a nice, quick, simple way to be able to do that. And once again, in other things that we've shown, it also has the immersive reader for the students. They can edit the documents, and all the normal sorts of tools that we have within the Office 365 package are still available here as well. So just to show you how this would look with a rubric. Okay, so I did this test activity. So the rubric just appears like that, and as a teacher I can simply press what I want to give them, and then when I'm happy with it I can press done. So in all fairness, we do not actually have to provide any written personalized feedback, and then I can press return and that will go back to the student to say that that's where that work has actually been assigned, and it notifies them that you've done that and that you've marked that piece of work. And obviously this just happens naturally as well. So as long as you're marking the work and students are completing that work, all pupil dialogue and feedback is all there and is all saved automatically. And it's something that is obviously better because it's happening naturally rather than being a kind of, oh, we have to do this. This is something that we do as a teacher anyway, to provide feedback for our students to be able to improve their work. And by using this platform, it just happens naturally on that occurrence. Okay, and the last section of assignments is just to show you how once you've done one, it makes it extremely easy. So if I press create again, and I now go from existing. Okay, so if I press from existing, it will now show you all of my classes. Okay, and all I need to do is click a class. Let's go 7W, and if I press that class, they're the assignments, as you can see. Week 1, 2, 3, 4. This must be a Monday class because we don't have week. Oh, yes, we do. Week 5 up here at the top, 6 and 7. These are the different works that I've set my class. So if I say, for example, okay, let's have a little look at a Minecraft hour of code. I simply compress it. I press next. There's the assignment for that class. Okay, with a video that I've actually shared and created, which Louise is going to show you how that works. Okay, it takes a little bit of a moment to bring over all the files and all the instructions for the students. Okay, and then I can simply press assign. So once I've got that one document, it actually provides, it actually saves me as a teacher an awful lot of time because I do not have to keep replicating that work. And obviously, if you set up your teams in the correct way, for example, what I mean by that is, as a computer science department, the whole of our computer science department, first of all, posts their assignment in our computer science department team. And that means that we create a bank of all of these resources, and then from that team I just share consistently to all of my different classes. So I'm going to have that bank of assignments there in my computer science team from hopefully a good couple of years, and I can just keep resharing them whenever I think they are appropriate. And that is the end of the demo for when it comes to assignments. Okay, and I will just stop to ask Louise if there are currently any questions about that at this moment in time.
Hi Lee, yeah, we've just got one. Can you edit or write on pupils' work when marking it in the assignments?
Great question. Yes, you can do. Probably something I should have shown you, to be fair. Okay, so I will do that right now. Okay, so if I do this as an example, and I go to this light bot here, I can click on to the student, and if I just go to the one that I want, okay, up here at this top, okay, this is an edit document. This is a document that I compress, and you can choose either one of two things. You can either edit in the browser or you can edit in the desktop app. Okay, so as long as you press, I'm so used to editing in the desktop app, in the desktop app, but it really doesn't matter, and it just allows you then to be able to also add comments into the student's work, and then once you're happy you simply close. Okay, and then if we look back at that person's work, we should see it might take a moment to sync. Okay, but as you can see, there's my document there. So within Ribblesdale, we have all of our teachers have styluses. So what we do is we write on our screen, and that allows us to highlight. Okay, so we have different highlighting colors that we use to be able to identify the different things for students. So if we see an error, we would highlight it rather than writing on it, and a student knows that that's where an error is. Okay, thank you. Okay, is there any more questions, Louise?
No, that's all. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do now is Louise is now going to take you through Stream, okay, which is a fantastic tool to be able to record lessons and also provide simple little guides. This is something that we're going to be doing on our website very soon, and we're going to have short, quick snippets of how-to guides and quick wins, so teachers and educators can be able to dip into them when they would like to. Okay, so I will now pass you on to Louise. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to talk you through Microsoft Stream. So the first thing I want to just draw your attention to is some of the features that I am going to discuss here in Stream only work in the new Microsoft Edge. So if you haven't got this new Microsoft Edge here at the bottom, you just have to download that, and then all of these features that I'm going to talk to you about today will be accessible. So when you open a new tab in Microsoft Edge, in the new one, you will see your waffle up on the top left. If you just click on there and head to Stream, it will then take you to Microsoft Stream that I'm going to talk to you about today. If you haven't, you just simply go to it as normal, portal.office.com, and it will take you through to this page. So as you can see on the home page on Microsoft Stream, there are videos here at the top that are trending, if you will, and these are videos that have the most traction. So these are videos that have been watched the most, so it's quite easy to be able to access the most popular videos within that organisation that you are in. Obviously, this is to do with permissions. So once the videos have been uploaded onto Stream, the permissions just allow these ones to be organisation-wide. Again, down here, these are all resources for you to be able to share with your colleagues within your organisations, and it's plenty on there for CPD. There's some great, fantastic, in-depth information on there. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's great to have a little look at all of those as well if you're on there. So I'm going to take you through just some of these tabs at the top. So the first one we've got is Discover. We're going to have a look at discovering videos. So again, these are videos that are available to me as they've been recorded by others and myself, but the permissions on there allow them to be organisation wide. So there's all of our meetings, there's assemblies, there's training, There's a lot of information and content on there that you can have a look at. So what you can do with this is you can share them with certain people, and you can also add them to a watch list, which then allows you to add that to your list to then be able to have a look at it later on. We're going to have a look in terms of discovering channels. So channels, these can be created by anybody. They can be created by yourself. They can be created for departments, for activities. As you can see, we've got ones for RE. We've got the Year 7 lessons and help that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. We've got ones from pupils. So again, you can create your channels in there. We've got people, and we've also got groups. The groups are great to organise content in terms of that are specific to those groups or those classes. And if you do record anything like a live lesson or upload a video into a certain team, then they go automatically into these groups. So it's really organised, it's streamlined, it's great for yourself, and it's great for the pupils as well. So that's Discover. We're going to have a quick look at Create. So there's a different way of creating your own content on stream. You can upload your own videos. So again, you can drag files in here or browse them. So you can upload anywhere from your devices. So this could be a PowerPoint recording that you've decided to do, or it can be anything that you've downloaded. You can upload it into this area. You can also record the screen, which is a new feature from Microsoft. And this is a great feature that I'm going to showcase for you now. Again, down the bottom, you can see you've got options for camera and for microphone. I'm just going to turn those off because obviously I'm delivering this at the same time. And again, when you select to record, there's a couple of different options that you have here at the top. You can record your entire screen, an application window, or a Microsoft Edge tab. You just need to be mindful, if you do choose the application window or the Microsoft Edge tab, if you then bounce from one to the other and want the video to follow, it won't do. It'll only follow that tab. So it might be an idea just to record the entire screen. Once you select what you want to record, if you're perhaps going to share a video, you need to share audio as well. And then anything that you play will be recorded onto the video. And again, you'll be able to share that with your pupils. Click share. Okay, and as you can see now, it's starting to record. So I can, for example, click on here. I could talk somebody through how to apply, discuss the course, discuss the programme, go all the way down here. If I'd shared the audio, I could play the YouTube video and they'd be able to hear it, and I'd be able to talk and give a few pointers. Then when you finish the recording, you've got a couple of options. You can either stop sharing here, or you can go straight back to the tab. I'm just going to click stop sharing here, go back to Microsoft Stream, and here you can see the recording that is here for us to view. You've got the option to record again. So if you play it back and you've missed something out, or perhaps you were slightly nervous when you do the first one, because it comes to us all, you might want to go back and re-record it. Then once you have done it, you simply click upload to stream. When you get to this point, you obviously include your name, description. So I'm just going to call this test, a description, the video language, English, and allow everyone in your company to view this video. You can either obviously have that on or off. It's totally up to you. That's just to do with the permissions within there. Once you've simply clicked that, you click publish. And that is now available. If you go to video, that is now available in your Microsoft Stream, in my content, in videos. And you'll see there that this video is up here. It's processing. Once you've got this video in your area, so you're in my content and you're in videos, once you're in here, there's several things that you can do with this. So the first one is add to a watch list. Again, you can put it on there just to be able to, something you might want to rewatch, something you might want to be revisiting. You can add it to groups or channels, which I'm going to show you in a second. You can edit, so you can update the video details. So again, you can update the name, the description, selecting certain thumbnails. You can add it, the permissions are in here. So if you want everyone in your company to be able to view it, that must be ticked. Or if you want specific groups or people or channels, then again, you need to make sure you're adding those to this area. I'm going to show you that in a second. And comments are on this one. So this will allow people to interact with the video and ask comments. So when it comes to my content, then this is almost like your filing cabinet of videos that you can quite easily access all the time. So again, at the minute we're on my content, we're in videos. Then obviously at the top, you've got groups. So these groups are specific to the classes that I teach. So again, really easy, really streamlined, really straightforward for me to be able to access those classes. Again, channels, this is what I'm going to show you about creating on here. So within channels, at the minute we've got year 7 lessons and help. So we're going to just create a new channel. We're going to create it in here, and this is going to be our webinar help. And we're going to add this to a group. So we're going to add this to the webinars channel. So again, you can upload an image. Once you've done it, you simply click create, and you'll see there we have got webinar help for this one. Now, to add our content to this, it's quite simple. You would go into my content and into your videos. Once you're in there, you will then see that you've got the option with this little button here, add to group/channel. You click on there. I want to add it to a channel that I've just created. I'm going to search for the channel. Search for the channel. Obviously, the people that are in this group, I just want them to be able to view it. I don't necessarily want them to be owners of these videos. I just want them to be able to view it. So once you pop the channel in there and click save, you will then find that in your channels, in your new channel that you've created, you have already got one video ready in there. So I'm just going to quickly talk to you about how you can then add this into Teams. It's a really great way of being able to streamline all the learning for the pupils, to have all the videos in one place. And also because Teams is integrated with so many different apps, it's a fantastic way of having everything in one place so the pupils don't need to be bouncing here, there and everywhere from them. So if we're going into my content and we're going into channels, this is the channel that we're going to upload into our team. So we simply just click the 3 dots and we simply just click share. We want to share the channel, so we're going to copy the code. And then we're going to go back into Microsoft Teams. We're going to be in webinars. And at the top, you'll see the plus sign where we're going to add a new tab. Once you click on there, you find stream. And you can just upload individual videos. So if you're doing it for certain classes and it's perhaps just one video that you might be uploading, or again, it could be a weekly message that you want to upload for your form tutor group or something like that, or it might be a department briefing. If you're just uploading a simple video, then you would just click video and do the exact same process in terms of sharing the URL. But obviously we're going to upload a channel because it will have multiple videos within it. Once you've done it, you just paste that into there. The name's already there, post a channel, and then you will click save. This will then pop up at the top here. And as you will notice, the video comes across quite quickly. It really does link really, really well and syncs quite fast. And what's really good about this is if you then do any more recordings on certain channels or teams, or you upload any videos into this channel, it'll automatically sync it with what is on Teams, so you don't have to worry about copying over the URL again, making sure that it's synced. It will automatically do it for you, so you won't have to spend any time doing that. So it's just a really great way of having everything in one place for the pupils to access it quite quickly and easily, and also a way of you of perhaps monitoring what you've set the pupils, what you've discussed with them, just to avoid any sort of confusion, and to make sure that learning follows that good curve. Okay, have we got any questions?
Yeah, no questions have actually appeared at the moment. It must have been a very thorough explanation. Okay. Okay, so really just to move on, obviously there are so many different aspects of Microsoft Teams that we can cover. So in the last couple of sessions, we have tried to cover a variety of different things that we think that a lot of us will want to use within our own teaching. But we also want to keep doing this as well. So we have another webinar in 2 weeks' time from today. And on this one, we will be looking at some of the app integrations that actually go with Microsoft Teams and how we can use them for learning. So the likes of, let's say, for example, the likes of Flipgrid or Wakelet or Quizlet, some of them which a lot of us would be already very familiar with and probably use within our classrooms already. Microsoft Teams is that digital hub, integrates extremely easy with these different platforms, and it just allows us to keep bringing it in so we can engage our students and in so many different ways. So, okay, as we're coming to the end of our webinar, we're just going to basically give you a couple of things of probably what we should be thinking about at the moment. Okay, so yourself and your next steps. Okay, what we would suggest is review the current procedures that you currently have in place and have a specific focus on keeping students safe whilst remote learning. Now that's an extremely important part. Never mind, you know, as well as learning, they also have to keep a healthy and you know, mindset as well, and ensure that their well-being is key. Now, another thing that Louise has shared several times is this Microsoft Educator Center, and I can't, you know, speak more highly about this as well. This is actually the first point of call where we direct our staff for CPD, whether they want to use Microsoft Teams or any type of platform that the Microsoft software offers, as well as teaching pedagogy. If you go onto the Microsoft Educator Center, you will certainly find courses there that support everybody. And the last thing is if you are interested about receiving this you know, support from ourselves and our consortium, it's please go to the edtech.ribblesdale.org website. I will share that out on an email at the end of this webinar, and if by filling in that form you can get personalized support as well, where one of the consortium schools, the one that meets your needs best, will be able to help you within your EdTech journey as well. And I believe that is the end of the webinar. And just to give you some of our social media things that we currently have. So, for example, if you want to find us on Twitter, we share lots of ideas where we have our Twitter handles there. And if you would like to get onto the Demonstrator School website, that is also there as well. And I would just like to say thank you very much for joining us today, and all the best, and I hope everybody keeps safe. Thank you now.
Thank you very much.